Good.
Good evening, Lunenburg. My name is Brett Ramsden. I'm the chairman of the Lunenburg Sewer Commission, and we're going to start our meeting as we always do with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. In accordance with the requirements of open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link to join the public meeting webinar found on the posted agenda, or from a telephone, dial toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the webinar ID number 831-8724-9940. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and email address. Note, no participant ID is needed. Just press pound when asked. I will do a roll call vote to confirm all members. Staff and commission are present, and we're going to start with Scott Dahl
Here.
and Dan Proctor.
Here.
Arthur Katz. Here. And I am also here. With the staff, Bill Bernard.
I'm here.
And Andrew Bellier.
Here.
And Jane Ranley.
Here.
Is she present?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jane. And then let's see, sorry about that, anticipated speakers on the agenda. Please respond in the affirmative when I call your name with Dillis and Roy, Ryan Proctor.
Here.
And with Haley Wood, Daniel Sheehan.
Dan had a conflict, so I'm Steve Ballard from Haley Ward. I'm filling in for him.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. Thank you for the correction. So is there any public comment from the public?
Is no public on.
No public. Is there any public comment from present public? Or from commission members or staff? Okay, thank you all very much. So we're back to, because of the because of our hearing here, I need to read ground rules again, and they are we are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for the effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I, the chair, will introduce each item to the agenda, and we'll go down the line of members, inviting each of by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Now, please hold your comments until your name is called. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. So, public hearing, and are we on time to start the first public hearing?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
So, okay. What time do we have at the moment?
It is 6:13, I believe. 6:13.
Okay, it is now 6:13. We were going to open our public hearing. And introduce our speaker from Haley Ward regarding 763 Mass Ave, a waiver request, discussion of progress project and, we'll take it from there.
Good evening. My name is Steve Ballard. I'm with Haley Ward. Dan had conflict, so I'm filling in for him. Project is 763 Mass Ave, the old funeral home. Similar to 792 Mass Ave that Dan had been before you previously. We have 3 lots and we're proposing to connect the sewer rather than 3 separate connections, put them all into one manhole and go one connection into the sewer in Mass Ave. Regarding your use conditions, as far as the 3 conditions to be met. Similar to Mass Ave to 792. There's not as much of an emergency as being proactive to prevent something from happening with the proximity of like intersection with Chestnut Street and this fairly good curve on Mass Ave and the traffic that goes through Mass Ave. Trying to make sure that the safety is of the utmost concern and that we don't have to shut down the street too many times. 1 time versus 3 times. As far as alternatives,
If you could speak up just a hair more.
as far as alternatives, if we go with the 3 connections. One of the things we have to do to get to the sewer main is to cross under the existing water main. So I'm not sure of the age of that line, but we believe that it'd be easier and less disruptive if we only crossed under that once versus 3 times. And given the soil maps that are in the area, there's a good likelihood there could be ledge there, so that's gonna also complicate things and make more of an issue.
Can you point out on the plan exactly where the waiver request is? Where the waivers, where the,
Sewer.
request for waiver is actually cutting through
So the easement,
another property?
the easement will come from lot 1,
Mhm.
which is here. Across, actually, that's lot 3. Lot 1 here, across into lot 1, through lot 1. Right to the taking of Mass Ave.
Just quickly looking at it,
Yeah.
can you define the lots, because I'm looking at what seems to be the plot lines, and it seems like the one in the back top corner there, is that going to have 2 different accesses to Mass Ave?
So this lot here
Mm-hmm,
comes from here down.
yeah,
Angles and down.
yeah, I can see that one, yes,
This lot. It's 50 feet of frontage here,
Okay.
comes up. Now, to get area for lot 2, it came around. The existing funeral homes.
but where is
Only
the
one
driveway access will be up on the,
driveway
on the
access
side?
would be Chestnut Street.
Okay, I was just trying to figure out why, you know, driveway.
No, they'll have Chestnut Street addresses.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I meant
No, I'm just curious,
the way the plot is that comes down to Mass Ave, you know, on that one.
but if their driveways are on Chestnut Street, they'll have
Mhm.
Chestnut Street.
Yeah.
Right, and going by,
Addresses.
if we had to keep the main in this lot. We needed the 50 feet on Mass Ave, and we need it, so we're not crossing.
Okay. I mean, I'm assuming the only way with that other strip that's going down the side was to get you the proper square footage for the lot? Okay. Cause I know how that house is laid out, so,
Yeah.
I know there's not much you can- yeah.
We're able to get the area for that one.
okay. So so
And-
technically it's that lot that's going to have at least part of the easement on it.
Correct. It's
And then-
across this lot
Yeah,
and this lot. And
Right, because
So-
the house with the barn attached is also gonna cross that short piece.
yeah, so.
Property owned by the upper right lot, is that what you're getting at?
Well, no, I was just questioning the plot lines, I wanted to make sure I was looking at it right, now I understand why, but my other I'm just gonna ask, and I'm assuming it is what it is, the existing structure, the one you're tying into the existing structure sewer line?
well,
The
yeah,
street?
the existing, what they're doing. They're gonna modify this building,
Mhm,
they're gonna take part of it out and create a duplex.
okay, yeah, there's a big barn on the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So they have to abandon the existing system. And then they'll run the new line and put a manhole.
Okay, well, that's interesting because I assumed. That you were just tying in the two new units into the existing old work. And going to Mass Ave, wouldn't it be a shorter run for you to run it to, is the other street on sewer?
If I understand
corner?
correctly, we need to go into a larger pipe now because it's gonna be three of them coming into one, is that correct?
Right. That is good.
But that's only on. If we grant the easement that three are going into one.
Yeah.
If there were three separate runs,
Right, well, that's the,
I
That's the
know what
idea
we're
of
saying, but
going
we're
with-
also saying, hey, we're not doing these other runs to Mass Ave because we don't wanna disrupt traffic 3 times, but.
yes,
Mr. Chair, for the
Mr.
speaker,
Director.
is the existing house on septic now, or is
Yes.
it on sewer? It's on septic system,
So
so
this
it's
is a
not
whole new
connected to
tie-in,
sewer.
okay,
So these are all new tie-ins.
Right.
Okay, because when I read it, it was saying that the
Thank
existing
you
one.
for. So then, Mr. Director, Arthur, do you have any questions?
I just wanna be able to picture what's going on here real quick. They're gonna put a new manhole, they said, and they're gonna need a new manhole. Where's that manhole going?
So there's gonna be a manhole
Just-
on the existing line
Yeah,
from coming out of this building. Manhole that will connect lot two. There'll be an angle, two manholes,
okay, that's what you said.
and then the third manhole where. These two lines, this manhole will connect lot two and three,
Right,
and then it'll go on to lot
so you
one.
need 3 new manholes.
Yes,
okay, so I guess
The verbiage is
I'm,
one. Sorry, the
Sorry.
verbiage, I think on the paper,
Say again?
the verbiage was for 1 new manhole. I didn't know. I'm just saying, I don't know if they marry up.
yeah, but the
One-
manhole's
one-
on private property. that's
Okay,
not
I'm
right
just
now.
saying, yeah.
one, I mean.
Yeah.
but the-
And Scott?
So I'm just. All right, now that I know that there's not even old work and we're talking, you know, that we're saying that the. The reason for tying the three in is to only shut down Mass Ave once. Why are we even running to Mass Ave? When it seems like the shorter runs are gonna be to. You know, if in the end, we gotta figure out what's the best interest for the town, how about not shutting down Mass Ave at all and running it the other way? On the shorter runs.
So, Mr. Chair, to start,
Yeah,
um,
Mr. Director.
there's no sewer on Chestnut Street. The only sewer available is on. Mass Ave.
Just one.
And is, okay, so is Chestnut Street one of those in our master map that's supposed to come online to?
Yeah, possibly a year from now, right?
It is in
Well-
the sewer zone, correct?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, the green, right?
let me,
Future.
yeah,
The existing property is all on the sewer.
But, alright, so what I'm getting at,
Well- It's on private. Right now.
it's on private.
Right, but it's on the sewer, it's in the sewer district, thank you.
Yeah, it's in the sewer district, but how many properties are on the street? Like, if we're gonna omit 3 properties right now, and there's only 10 properties on the street. Are we really gonna run just for 7 properties in the future, or is this the point when we run new work on Chestnut Street?
Yeah.
I mean,
If we're hoping to get sewer down Chestnut Street at some time, this could be the opportunity.
10 properties.
Well, it would.
Well, no,
it
no,
would just- it would
I'm
just serve to see
asking, how
the
many
main-
properties are on Chestnut?
Okay,
I know it's not that long a street.
drive by there all the time.
Well,
So he's showing
what is
everything.
your main concern about that?
Well, what I'm saying is if it's in our master plan, that this is in, as Dan was saying, that it's in
The district,
our district, right? Should we be entertaining running new work on
Well,
Chestnut Street in its
the
entirety and putting it on
Chestnut Street
the,
itself is
grid.
not in the district. And all the other properties down
It's-
Chestnut Street are not in the district.
okay, well, that's what I'm
Right.
asking.
So that would mean redistricting to be able to run it down there. In this particular.
All right, well, that's what we're,
Yeah.
all right, I mean, where do I find out where it's cut? I thought we just said it was in the district. Of the plan, okay, so what are we looking at?
This is the property we're talking about.
Yes, I can see that.
So what you're suggesting is running an extension up Chestnut Street,
Or do we
tie
bring,
these two in?
or do we plan out?
Right, but is the light green in the sewer district?
That's
Yes,
the unsewered sewer service
Yeah.
area.
Right, so there's no sewer line there, but it can be without town meeting or anything crazy. Okay, that's what.
in the
I'm
whole
getting at.
street is, so what I'm saying is, are we, how many properties are on, and I know there's gonna be another one across the street coming on, but how many properties are on Chestnut Street are we looking at? I can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, is that,
If they run
The
an extension, if you make them run an extension, they're only gonna go to here, so you're only gonna grab three maybe?
well, I mean, I guess I'm still not privy to how it works on the sewer commission of adding a line within our already approved district. We would only spur out, we wouldn't run the whole street.
No, so the bylaw states that he has to go halfway up this lot right here. So with
Okay.
their stuff, so they'd have to go halfway through. Whatever number lot that is, I apologize, can't see it right there, so.
Somewhere up in here.
That's correct, right, right, so they would run the sewer up to here,
There's
Scott.
3 properties.
So you
Yeah.
have to go halfway through that lot, so that's where he would be obligated to stop. And then if someone else wants to take it from there, that's their prerogative, but ultimately, that's how our bylaw
Hmm.
is written.
Okay, so.
So you would
de-
service
devil-
like,
Devil's advocate, 42 wants to come off their septic and wants to go.
Mhm.
But they're gonna be responsible for running all the way up to 42?
Yeah,
if this gentleman doesn't run it up, then yeah, they would have to go all the way, and that's why it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's why those people still battle and put in septic
Mhm.
systems, because
Right.
they're not gonna, one house isn't gonna pay
Yeah.
for all that.
Right, so this guy might petition all his neighbors and say, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Well, and
you wanna
that's.
Join in with me.
And there's where I'm going. Are we
Right.
supposed to be petitioning everyone with, they could potentially benefit from this?
Yeah.
As a public interest.
Can I just ask a couple of questions?
Yes.
Where is the sewer stub for the funeral home at this point? Do we know? It doesn't show it on the plan.
No.
You can pull that up, Andrew, right? I mean, I'm just curious, but the bottom line
I
is,
thought there was
the
a-
sewer stub was left for the funeral home.
Okay.
It had to been, right? They were buried. So,
Maybe.
okay, so the
Mhm.
bottom line is your plan doesn't show that there's an existing sewer stub there already.
No, there is.
It has to be,
Alright,
because when they ran the sewer up, they went by that and they bettered the funeral home. So there must be a stub someplace to
Yeah, but
service
they
the
could have,
funeral home.
so the way the funeral home's laid out now, you know by driving by it, I mean, the house is here.
Right.
I mean, there's a good chance it's down here.
No, it's not.
You-
Yeah, you're
So
connected to the
their,
TV.
their septic system is right here,
Okay,
okay?
Oh.
So whenever they put
Alright.
sewer stubs in, they
okay,
find out where the septic system is and they find the logical spot, which is downhill. So I guarantee that stub is probably someplace right
Mm.
here. So they might not even say, here it is right here.
Whoops, somebody's trying to.
What's the property across from there?
now what's interesting is your downhill on this is here.
So that's, you're showing that right there.
what's
Andrew?
there?
Downhill from here is down here,
No, I understand that.
if you're talking.
Right, well,
gravel.
right there,
But
right?
that's it. That's showing where that stub is. I'm pretty sure Mike Masharelli had contacted me at one time. It's right at the entranceway by the stone wall. So it's like right here.
They wouldn't
Right
have
at
stuff
the-
down here, cause this land.
It's right at the entranceway by the stone wall.
Yeah.
Right?
It's somewhere in that area.
Which is. The entranceway is down here.
No, I realize that, but that's not what that's showing. right
Alright,
there.
well.
So regardless, what the point I'm making is there is a sewer stub here. So we don't even know if we'd have to dig into the road based on this plan. I guess my second question is, when we talked about across the street,
mhm,
originally. Dan presented it that we were gonna tie into the existing stub.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the meeting, he said, no, we'll have to dig into the road and upgrade it to an 8-inch one.
mhm.
Because there were 3.
Right.
number 2.
Right. So first he told us it was gonna be 6, and then at the end, he said, do we have to dig into the street and make it 8? So
Yeah,
can you
three-
tell, can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Can you tell me to these 3 here, is 6-inch gonna be enough, or are they gonna need 8? I really want that information before we're gonna decide whether we're gonna accept this.
Okay.
I wanna know where the stub is. And I wanna know what size it's gonna be if we have to dig into the road, or is that 6-inch stub gonna be big enough? I mean, I just don't think we're really getting all the information
I
out,
understand.
okay? My gut feeling is kind of what Scott's saying, if there's addresses on Chestnut Street, I do not wanna have pipes going all the way through this other property.
To me, it's, I mean, alright, it's easily avoidable from our point of view. That's all I'm saying. I thought if this was existing work already coming down and we were just tying in here, I could see why it would be cost effective and whatever, but we're causing a couple burdens when it almost seems like, you know, for X number of dollars, you know, we run the stub up, but like I said, I don't even know what if it does, if you're gonna run a spur, whatever, right? Now do you have to open that up to the town of the people on the street? To say, hey, this is gonna happen, or this is possibly gonna happen. Do you wanna be on the sewer line?
All right, the. Mr. Director, if I understand or recall correctly, one of the reasons why they needed to go to an 8-inch stub on the Stone Farm was it's actually 3 duplexes, right? So it's not 3 units, it's 6 units,
Right.
right? So this being 3 units.
No, this is gonna be
six.
thick.
This is six also.
I'm sorry, that's
This
6
is-
as well?
Yeah.
This is 6 and this,
So-
even when this is split, these are still big property. This will still, I don't know how many, I couldn't tell you how many bedrooms, but I know it's a big footprint, you know, but. There's gonna be more bedrooms in that than probably in the townhomes, am I correct, or?
I don't know what
Oh,
the
you don't
plan
know,
is for
yeah.
that, honestly. I just know that they're gonna be converting it to a 2-family. I don't know how many bedroom.
All right, so. We don't know
Well, that's interesting too.
the
We don't
final
know how many
answer, but
bedrooms
that
are
needs to
tied.
be 8-inch.
So we can go from.
I don't know.
to Chestnut.
I can't.
How do we grant this if we don't,
So
if we don't even know how many bedrooms are going in?
For volume.
Well, I mean, it's number of,
well, I'm thinking it's safe to
well, it's
assume.
permitting, right?
Safe to assume there's 3 in bedrooms in each unit.
I'm talking about in the existing house. It's a huge house.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so,
Just looking at that Zillow.
no, but they're gonna split it in 2,
Right.
so there's gonna be redesign. and-
That would be in your data, just as.
It would be, I would have to know too, to.
Well, that's what I'm saying for the permitting,
Yeah.
yeah.
When you get a minute.
Is a split happening? Is a split happening either way they go? Is that is that home being split no matter which?
That's
street?
what they're saying, yeah.
So either way,
So the split doesn't matter. It's to
Go
do with
ahead.
sewer. So the split has nothing to do with the sewer then. The split
Well,
has
it's just
more to
2
do with
units.
aesthetics and
Right.
usage than it does with sewer connection. Okay.
That's correct, yeah.
so, the stub is, chances are it would be 6, so we're probably digging into the street either way for. To upgrade to 8, but we already assumed we were digging into the street for this, were we not?
Well,
I guess,
we didn't go into this.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I just like to see something on a plan that shows what we're gonna do. In other words, if we're digging in the street and we're putting an 8-inch, I want it called out, new 8-inch line going into the street.
I
I
mean,
mean,
this is-
that's what this is all about. That's what we should see on a plan.
Well, it's
Okay.
showing where the.
Well,
It's
that's what the
supposed to be
tie-in-
where they're gonna tie in, but
Yeah.
the tie-in isn't even marked.
I mean, it's just showing a proposed 6-inch line all the way down to here. So I just, at some point, it would propose 6-inch. So at some point, if this is gonna be 8, that's fine, but I just think we should know that.
Yeah, but you know, if it's showing 6 up here, it makes no sense to go to 8. I mean, it's,
But that's exactly what we voted on last week across the street.
right,
We talked about 6
So it
inch
was
and then,
6 and-
then after he said he was gonna have to go to 8 because of the volume size. But the plan did not show that. It showed 6-inch. I just feel like we're getting that. Not before the
I
horse.
just don't understand the concept, I must have missed that. I apologize last week with my hearing, I miss a lot, but just for the record. So you're saying that what we approved last week was a continuous 6-inch line and at some point it just jumped to 8?
I believe so. At the last manhole, it switches over to
Oh,
an
no,
eight ten.
yeah. Was there
It switches
other?
over to
is
an
that
eight,
where
well, the
it's-
manhole is fairly close to the road. It's,
So
it's different than this configuration,
he,
which is, it's not really a big deal. It just comes down to. That should have been known right off that we were gonna go.
he was just saying that he was running sixes on the other one, but it would be one tie-in to the road that was N8, and that was the only time they had to disrupt the road. Yeah. So it was in last minute, but like you said, it wasn't really on the plan. And now this one's even a little more vague.
Right, but if we have to go into the street for an 8 inch, I understand that. I just wanna see that. And then is there gonna be a manhole right here? Or is this gonna just have an 8x6?
So any
Connected.
comments down here?
Doesn't say anything above 8 inch.
Yeah.
We don't use a union, just union it.
Yeah, you just, it's 8x6 fern coat type of thing. So, yeah.
I'm just, me just playing devil's advocate for the residents on Chestnut Street. Is this their opportunity to tie in? And how does something like this presented to the town, to the residents?
So if you don't want this to happen. The lots are set up that they could go with three separate connections to Mass Ave. Unless
But
they
I'm
wanna say
saying,
Chestnut.
still gonna say, why would I want 3 connections to Mass Ave? When probably at that point it's gonna be cheaper to put the spur in and run it to Chestnut Street. If we're talking
there's
3
no way
connections into
to-
Mass Ave, then I'm gonna be
Yeah.
insisting on the
How
spur.
high up you wanna go?
Well, but that's what I'm saying, like, it's not just them, you have to, I'm assuming there's some public
So-
notice you have to make, or, make them aware that there's this possibility for.
Director,
Yes, sir.
if they were to put a spur up Chestnut, what kind of intrusion into Mass Ave and Chestnut? I assume we'd have to expect to be pretty big construction.
So I kinda got it up here on the screen. I would assume you'd tie into this manhole, so they'd have to come across, right, both lanes and then up Chestnut. And probably put a manhole there.
Mhm.
Something like that.
Go right in front of me, like that.
So, I mean, look, I'm not trying to derail anything, all I'm saying is, okay, well, is it better for the town? And the residents of Chestnut Street that we run up there, yes, it's a little bit of a disruption on Mass Ave, hell, I live on Mass Ave, but. In the end, does. The result a lot better for the town? Of the little inconvenience of Mass Ave being closed, is it better off bringing this Chestnut Street online? So.
I can tell you the 4 houses on the left side of Chestnut Street right there,
Mhm.
the northerly side. They would be ecstatic because the soil conditions there are terrible, so when their septics are failed.
And,
If
and,
there's
I,
sewerage in front of their house,
and I know this
they
is
would be
jumping
happy.
projects, but don't we have this coming up, all being sold and subdivided? And,
That's already been done over here, but there's another one over
No,
here.
no.
Could you?
no, this, where the lumber company is being, it was just sold,
Right.
right? And what was it, 5 different lots at least, and then the houses that are gonna be behind them, yeah, there we go, so. Yep, so,
So what are they doing for septic on that lot, do we know?
no, because they haven't even,
and that's not in the sewer service area.
Right.
Oh, it's not.
well, no, so this is where we come into that other problem we have, right down next to 30, where it's 32, but. The edge of the property is on that street, and that's that thing we had questioned a little while ago.
Right,
I
and
might have
that's-
even
that
been
was the
right
next
before
property,
Dan
wasn't
came
it?
on.
It was all like.
Was that, what do we do if there's part of a property that falls into the sewer expansion? Land with the rest of the land, do you only let them build out there, or do we have to build one spur all the way in to service the
Right,
property?
so if they wanna put houses here and connect them to sewer,
Mhm.
then they have to go to town meeting to get this
Right.
put into the sewer service area.
Yeah,
Right, they could put a house right in here, in the
Mhm.
green
Right.
area,
yeah,
but they can't tie it up.
and I know, like I said, I'm just putting all the
Yeah.
possibilities out there of, okay, well, now. yeah, I don't know, I mean, look, if I'm overstepping, let me know, like I said, I'm not trying to derail, I'm just trying to. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, well, whatever, two. If you go all the way down, you got about 16 houses, right?
Right, I know a resident up here already expressed interest in connecting.
And now here's a
This way
chance
or
for this
that way.
residents to have something maybe a little more cost conducive for them to bring it in, and especially if they all. You know, they start talking to the neighbor and say, oh yeah, hey, you know, I'm sick of my Title IX,
Title five.
Title V, yeah, so. I don't know.
That's
said
a
the
lot of nice girls and sports.
The gravity, one side is different, the gravity feed is different when you get to a certain apex.
I'm
On
sorry?
the road, is it go one way and one this way, gravity? So you'd have to have something right there
There's
splitting,
other
right?
ways to do it.
Yeah, they can pump,
They can grade or pump,
they pump
okay.
them, yeah, so.
And that basically runs downhill, but like, I'm just trying to not.
oh yeah, when they dig underneath,
to
they can
know-
grade.
Despite the face, I understand, and then even, all right, now even coming back, the one thing that. Maybe helps you at Haley Court is if you did run into ledge. Because right now. You don't know. And now if it's the tie-ins down here, say, you know, you don't know, was it planned this way because of soil samples, or we were running down here and we hit ledge? You know, so I guess there's still a lot of questions.
Well, this is all down gradient, so, I mean, this would be an easy install as far as, this is all probably above grade anyhow, but regardless, you know, whether there's ledge there or not.
Well, for this property, it would certainly by far be the most affordable way with the least intrusion into the public's domain. It would be certainly quicker and far more affordable, and then the offset would be putting a whole line down Chestnut Street far enough to reach this building, this new structure here, which is sort of a whole different ball of wax from what they're asking, of course. So we have to discuss, and we've been discussing the pros and cons. We also need to, I'd like to go around the room real quick and ask if we, you know, what our thoughts are. Do we want to bring this further to the next meeting? Finding out if we can find out where the stub actually is and what the size pipe needs to be. And or if there's anything we need to learn further to discuss bringing
Well, probably then.
down Chestnut
Yeah, and,
and then review this again.
well, the number of bedrooms.
Say again?
Is the number of bedrooms gonna hit, I don't know at what point, you know, as Dan or anybody that knows would you have to go to even a bigger tie-in than 8-inch? At what point, like, are they close to that threshold, even if
Well,
we're
I thought we
assuming 3
determined that
bedrooms?
last week, because last week we were talking 6 units and we went to 8-inch pipe.
But,
So I just, but I don't believe that whole system was 8-inch, I think it was 6 all the way down to the street. And then that last manhole opened it up to 8-inch, I believe that's what it was.
I just don't
I don't
understand
have
why they
that
would
plan
do
in front of
that.
me, but, I mean, I think you're right about going around the room, my personal opinion, and this is just me,
Yes,
I don't love easements through multiple properties to service 2 houses that have addresses on Chestnut Street. That's just my gut feeling across the board.
and could you,
For every easement that we're gonna keep talking about in the future, because these are all gonna come in front of us constantly. When we have addresses on other streets, I don't feel this is the best option for easements. Like, I understand it. This is by far the most economical way for any developer to go, as compared to running it up the street.
I was gonna say,
But I have-
only because.
I have a lot, what Scott's saying,
Yeah.
that I just feel like there are people on Chestnut Street that would love sewer. And if this is an opportunity for them to get it at least to that point, that's how I would vote. That's just me.
and Scott?
I mean, I agree with Dan, I mean, I think we need to have the exact placement on this plot of where the tie-in is on Mass Ave, because then. even if, say it's 20 feet up here, whatever, 50 feet, this is 50 feet, right? So it could change even the amount of easement. Because now it could probably run all the way down here and now there's no easement on this lot. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can't vote on an easement, but I mean, when you look at this, here's the three dwellings, right?
Right.
You know, the shortest run, even if you're gonna run it into one tie-in, is, you know, here to here.
Well-
But then that, you know, it comes up there, but that's what I'm saying, like, when
Well, if-
we're
if-
trying to satisfy conditions. Are we better serving the town of bringing Chestnut Street online?
Right. I'm
We would
hearing
need
you,
one.
and also,
If we did it in Chestnut, because there is no, lot 3 doesn't have any frontage on Chestnut. So you would need an easement.
But,
to
well,
get from the existing building there. Or to any line, whatever line you're.
okay,
Cause the existing house would tie into the stub that's there,
I was gonna say,
so there
so
wouldn't be any easement.
that's one thing
Is that
I
what you're
wanted
saying?
to
Well,
bring
that's
up
what-
right now,
I'm just saying,
gentlemen.
if he was, when he was saying everything's gonna go to Chestnut.
Yeah, this
It
one
would-
wouldn't have to, this one would still come down to whatever the stub is that's left
oh,
there,
they'll need an easement, these two would be. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what I wanted to ask, our director here real quick. Obviously, if we decide they need to run up Chestnut, they're gonna have to be putting in stubs for every house they pass,
Correct,
every property they pass. That's what
we should.
isn't that what we've done before? That if you're passing other properties, you have to make it so they can, does a stub have to be there for that to happen, or can they put stubs in later?
No, they're digging up the road. they
Yeah,
put the stuff
they should put
in.
the stuff
And we
in.
did it on.
It's,
Kimball.
it's 4 lots, not including.
So
this.
if you do that, do you then charge that person a betterment?
Only when they tie in.
Would then they be obligated to pay some of that install cost? For whoever does it? I guess, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that, but,
That's a good question. I mean, what if they don't tie in for 10
Right.
years?
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
okay,
Well, I
Yeah,
get,
they're not obligated.
if I may, then,
Are there?
since we're talking about, you know, the best interest of the people, like you said, why don't we have them communicate to us and see what the consensus is in that street of who would be interested in this? But present it to them with all the possibilities of what the expenses might be incurred from them too. So they can make an educated decision and give us backing towards what we,
Well, and.
if we're looking out for the best interest, they have to be interested.
In the best interest, what I'm saying.
So if we're looking out for the best interest of the town people that we're looking to give the interest to have to speak up.
That's what I'm saying, is how do you
You know,
petition?
that's what I'm saying, like that would be I think the push to
Right.
even
so
do this.
usually what happens when you do that, just my own experience.
Yeah.
We did it on
Door
what he's
notices.
talking about, the pressure one on Highland Street.
Yeah.
We talked to everybody on the street that were gonna go buy their house, you wanna help pay for this?
Hmm.
Nobody wants to pay.
Yeah.
Oh.
As soon as it went by and it got signed off, then they all tied in, okay, that's
They
just
did.
human nature, right?
Yeah.
Because they say,
It's gonna
this
be
guy
the
has
same thing.
bigger pockets than anybody, he's gonna pay for all of
Right.
it, we're happy to have it, but we're not gonna pay anything.
So in a way, we should.
Is usually
think
what
about that.
happens.
So in a way, does that?
So I mean, I understand what
Position,
you're
you know what I'm
saying, you know, and we could have conversations
That's how
with
these
it, but
things
I've
usually
never
go.
seen
You
a
said that
person
was
say, oh
something-
yeah, I'll give you 20 grand, you know, I mean, it's just. That
That,
never
that's par
happens.
for the course in this situation typically.
So that's part of the formula then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to find out if technically they would have to add stubs. Or would they?
Yeah.
Okay, and then would they
It looked
have
like
to
it-
put separate stubs for these two houses? Because there's.
Yeah, we wouldn't be
shortage.
granting an easement if we're. tying
And then
in
this would
sewer
tie.
over there.
be-
If it's
into
new
Mass
work,
Ave.
you're just gonna put.
So you'd have
Two
two intrusions in the Mass Ave and then, you bring this down, past 4 other properties across the street with 6 stubs. And then
Mhm.
come and doing that. Yeah. So in the interest of the town and with the let me ask you this, Mr. Director, if someone were to bring it down the end of Chestnut. What is that street that it hits up there?
Highland.
Okay.
Hmm.
Highland, would that be able to take that stub up there, or would Highland have to go another direction if somebody down the road on Highland wanted?
So Highland Street has to be pumped because
Oh.
when it drops by Marshall Pond,
Right,
it runs out of grade. So we hooked up the house on the westerly side of Highland Street with a pump line. It pumps all the way down up to Oak Ave to the manhole. So most of Chestnut Street, if they're gonna tie in, they're gonna also pump. They have to.
Hmm.
They can't gravity it.
oh, did they tie into Main? From Chestnut Street, you said,
Yeah,
from Highland?
Sorry. Yeah, which one?
let's go that way a little bit. So here's Oak Ave right here.
Right,
So we tied this house right here in the sewer.
Hmm.
And we put an ejector pump from there all the way down and it ties into the manhole right there. Because the road dips down there. So that's all E1 pressure line. So this whole section of Chestnut Street, they would have to do the same thing. They would have to tie into that. And we left the stub there for them. So they can tie into it, meaning a stub in the street. So they just connect and they just keep running. But this would all be pressure, this whole section. Somewhere there's gonna be the high point here, probably just before the ball field, that then would go that way, gravity.
so if you had that many houses, would it need a pump station?
Well, that's what I don't know. I'm not sure of the grading here, but this grade keeps coming up, so those would all probably just be gravity.
Yeah, gravity thing.
So, can we go back to where he just pointed? It doesn't show that being brown for some reason. Shouldn't that house tied in now be brown?
If that's tied in, it should be, yeah, probably. That's just our mapping system hasn't gotten caught up.
I'm sorry?
The map hasn't got caught up.
Oh, I see, okay. So is there a line down the street passing the other properties across from it?
Just the ones that go to Oak Ave. So that's what I
Or
was,
number 26 is not,
so this is what I was explaining, earlier. So when we ran that pump line to Oak Ave. We talked to that house and nobody wanted to incur any of the cost.
Yeah,
Then after this house number 12 sold, and then they did tie into it.
yep, they're tied in.
Yeah.
Right,
right, but
so
was there a stub there?
it's not
No,
showing our.
there was not a stub there. They went across the street and they tied in.
I'm sorry,
Right, you tie in, it's a T stub for the 2 inch.
Andrew, make a note of that, right? That it's not showing whatever sewer's up here now. So we give that the right period.
Yeah, and what's that,
So-
7-Eleven?
Highland
Yeah.
from Oak
Highland to Oak?
towards Chestnut. yeah.
Okay,
so. The now existing conditions there. What year was that? Curious.
Oh, that was a while, 10 years ago, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah. At least.
none of us were involved then. So. Back then, they voted to let that run up the street with a single. Line and no tie-ins, no stubs. And it wasn't like a street line, it was more of a house line. Going
So it's a 2 inch pressure line, which is enough line to handle all of Highland Street and Chestnut Street.
oh, so people.
So
could tie
it's
in,
pressure.
But it just wasn't any stubs,
That's correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to. Rack my memory. I believe, was there a change that we require stubs going in when we're passing out the homes now? Cause I thought we did.
I don't know if it's written somewhere, but it's common sense to me, right?
Yeah. What would we have to do to find that out? Look at our,
Yeah, go through all our regs.
Well, let's get back to going around the run, right? What, I think I agree, but Dan's. Ask. Did you have any concerns with?
yeah.
Before we move forward with,
I,
ask on the plans?
it's a pretty crazy configuration. I don't see a big problem in the future with that functioning in any way. It would be. The pros in my point of view is it'd be less intrusion on roads. Chestnut Street's in pretty good shape, isn't it?
It is.
We're tearing up a lot of street which will be paved where the excavation is. However, at the same time, if we do this configuration, we're not bringing the sewer down Chestnut for other people at the same time. We also know that that very good chance that none of the other properties are going to contribute,
No,
likely would connect. So I'm kind of. Right now, I don't have a final decision in my own head of which way would be best. So let's start with Arthur this time. I'll go this way. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm with Dan and Scott, let's just see the plans they come up with, to include the
Chestnut,
8-inch, the,
8-inch.
you know,
well,
the discharge, what are they gonna, you know, basically, everything that we talked about for them to show us, so we have a clearer picture of, you know.
Okay.
But I do believe that we should look out for the people, that street, Chestnut Street, and see if this is gonna benefit them, if we're gonna be there anyways. There's gonna be future development, is it smart now to engage Chestnut Street, get it over with?
Right,
Because we're looking at continual development, and this might set a precedence. And then we are out of control. So this is gonna set the precedence.
it would give those people access.
You give those people access, and we were also, Dan had mentioned it, and you kind of mentioned, I mean, we could be talking, how could we even grant an easement access tonight when we're not even sure if these plan drawings are gonna change because the tie-in might not be in the appropriate spot? This is the potential of, but if we approve this as a, you know, an easement into this other lot, and then the tie-ins, you know, back this way, you know, then now we're granting an easement for no reason. You know what I mean, or for an additional lot for no reason,
Does it meet unusual circumstances?
yeah.
If we have options, those aren't unusual circumstances.
It's extenuating circumstances, and like I said, you're only going, you know, we're still looking at 3 points of granting the easements, right? And to me, it's hard to vote on something that's inconclusive right in front of us without saying, you know, well, maybe we're going to an 8-inch and it's in this general vicinity, you know, when, and even to Dan's point, 2 of the residences are on a whole nother street that's within our buildable
For the sewer.
sewer system that, as we determined a while ago, is well capable of taking on more tie-ins.
Oh, it certainly is, and it.
It was over-engineered and overbuilt 20 years ago to handle just what we're getting to this, and as Dan said, you know, we don't wanna. A lot of these are gonna come before us now, everyone's building, you know, subdividing, selling, subdividing, and it's
it
just
could
gonna be
be-
more and more tie-ins and
It also could be some of
easements.
those units installed in the future that we.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's, you know, another thing, so that we knew that the easement thing was going to be.
ADUs could be added later and.
It was gonna be an issue, and so not that this is. You know, really that issue, but it does fall into easements on other people's property at this point, you know, and the whole emergency access thing and, you know.
Okay. And Dan, your thoughts?
Well, like I said before, I'm just not in favor of addresses on Chestnut Street. I guess my only question I'd have for Steve is, you know, like, do you think your client wants a more definitive answer tonight? In other words, if he comes back with another plan that says we need to run an 8-inch stub here, is that really gonna change our opinion on this whole thing? Because I'm sure his
That's the big
client's gonna be
question.
looking for answers on whether this is even gonna be feasible and spending more money just showing us an 8-inch stub here as compared to 6-inch. So, I mean, it's,
Right, I, exactly what you just said was what I was gonna say. If we do find out the location of the stub, modify the design to go into that same stub and determine whether that stub, and if it can handle that stub, is this an option that you're?
And like you said, without even the location, you know, of where exactly it's gonna run, you know, that's, all right, I at least have to wait for that, but
No, I understand. that.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, for me, I'm just really concerned with the precedent and how our map is laid out and what liberties are, if we say okay to this and run 3 down to Mass Ave, just because it was easier, than, you know, running a lineup, we're missing the opportunity. What opportunity do we ever have to run this up when we actually have new properties at the beginning of the run of where we would put a spur?
also-
To service other people in the area.
I also suspect,
But the only undeveloped right now is right at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah,
Everything else.
That's.
well,
correct.
no,
Exactly.
no,
It's
no,
pretty
no.
well maxed out.
I'm saying that this is undeveloped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at what point would we be, is in our best interest to be like, well, no, we need to have. We said it, cause the next person that comes up, if they wanna tie in, now you're asking them to run all the way down the street.
yeah,
And then you have, which honestly, in the future, it's probably gonna happen, the street will come online.
Very,
Thing,
very
I'd be missing the opportunity to bring this street online.
and,
Um,
okay,
But right
we can
now,
get
we'll
back,
come right to here.
I know, I understand,
right, so. And we can get back, we can talk, come back to you again, one of the things I was thinking that just popped in my head is, it used to be, we used to be that, you know, that we weren't even able to, request waive or let waivers be requested for this. I
Mhm.
think this is a situation where the original people who were running the commission, whoever came up with the original rules and bylaws, that were approved by the town, was probably to prevent this kind of situation from happening and make it so that the other accessible people do have access in the future.
yes,
It
and
should-
then,
If there's the possibility of sewer running down a street in front of those units,
mhm.
that it makes no sense not to have them do that.
I mean, and
Um,
that's what, and that's why there are the stringent conditions, and Dan can say that. Verbatim, I'm sure, of what the town, you know, the
Could I-
permitting process, you know, has to meet these 3 stringent conditions, and, you know, and like I said, I'm still stuck on the last one of the best interest of the town, and just because, I mean, look, I don't know the builders, I don't know, you know, but I understand it's gonna be you know, more of a cost to run it, but do I believe it's cost prohibitive that stops this project? No.
Right, and I've actually been doing a lot of thinking myself during this meeting and thinking back and thinking through that, you know, the sewer system is number one, and how best to support and, maintain the system and help our existing clients as well and possible future clients. And the more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards not approving this and letting them making a decision that they need to run up Chestnut and make the sewer available for other people as well as.
Well, it's interesting what Dan, you know,
Yeah.
even what Dan was saying, even if they came back with the plan for the 8-inch, are we really still even gonna approve it? Are we just spinning our wheels right now and then we?
Well, that's why I'm
just
trying
come
to
back
have
and say,
respect for Steve.
Yeah, his time and stuff.
I don't want
trust
him
me, I-
redesigning a plan and showing an 8-inch stub and then we're gonna shoot it down
Yeah.
and that's just my opinion, so.
So in the same realm. You wouldn't let them put 3 separate into this line that's in Mass Ave through their own lots. You're gonna want them to go Chestnut Street regardless. So
In
right
other
now,
words, if
they're
you-
capable, they have the capability of accessing, following the town rules and accessing this line through their own land. So if you're not comfortable with this, You're saying you're also not comfortable with letting them try to run three separate lines
Well,
in Mass Ave?
I'm gonna,
Hey, the way it was brought up to us was, from what I understand, the reason why you wanted to do the easement was because you didn't wanna do that.
Why was the easement, what?
Right, the easement
Correct,
was because you
but-
didn't wanna do the three tie-ins,
If the choice is running three separate lines to Mass Ave or
yeah.
putting in a new
right,
main,
yeah.
I'm thinking my client would probably.
Right, that doesn't, they're not relying on unusual circumstances at that point, they're just doing individual tie-ins, right? So they're not leaning on
This is-
unusual circumstances,
So no waiver, that's.
so no waiver necessary, so
Right.
that's the one route, I believe. They could take, but. Any other route, the
My
benefit will
question
be,
is,
actually, still,
That's
don't
not-
we still have to vote in any tie-ins?
No,
No,
No, okay.
I guess,
Go
sorry,
ahead, Dan.
does it say anywhere in our bylaws, I'm not aware of it, but does it say anywhere in our bylaws that if you have an address on another street, you can tie in the street behind you? I'm just
oh,
curious.
see, there's.
That was my
I'm
only
gonna
thing,
get
so
some
they,
silent on that.
yeah, they
that's-
there's an address on Chestnut Street, and then, because I understand this, I get it. That's still, in my mind, is like spaghetti bowl type.
Yeah.
Stuff, you're gonna have lines all over the
It'll
place.
be a Band-Aid,
That kind of
it
thing.
won't be a future.
It'd be a different
But-
story.
But
Won't be
these
the-
lines are gonna be the homeowner's responsibility, and I understand that, but
Mhm.
that's still is kind of.
But in these situations, if we're
Cross-country
going
line.
to, if we're gonna give a waiver. That situation should be more directed towards a situation where sewer cannot go up. The
Well-
adjacent street. And sewer can, it's.
Let
within
me
our
just go
future
back to,
sewer.
that we wouldn't have approvals. It's new tie-ins, it's new work. We would have approval. And our best interest is not to dig up and disrupt Mass Ave to the town, it's still to service and tie into the street. You can't tell me it's cost conducive when you're gonna run three, 500-foot lines as opposed to, three 200-foot, whatever. Three 50-foot lines and one
Right,
100-foot.
to
line
Chestnut, you're saying.
to
Yeah.
Chestnut.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, I know it's much more construction on Chestnut, but like I said, you're still. I'm still stuck on Mass Ave disruption and missing an opportunity to service Chestnut Street in our district.
I was just going to ask the director to pipe in on this subject.
So can we dictate that he has to go up Chestnut Street and deny him access on Mass Ave? I don't think we can.
Oh, because
I
the
mean,
property's
I
on
can
Mass.
Say, no, we're not gonna sign off on connections on Mass Ave, but I think he could sue us and win in a second.
So, because until when do these two properties become addresses on Chestnut as opposed to addresses on Mass Ave? That's
Well,
what.
the lots are.
Hmm?
The lots are addresses on Chestnut, right?
Well, these are gonna be separately deeded. Are they separately?
They already
deeded?
are, right?
They must be.
I'm
they're,
assuming
they're
they're-
under the same owner right now.
Yeah.
But they've been approved through the planning board.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know that the plan's been recorded yet, but
So if I understand what the director was just saying. That until these are sold. They are officially still, this whole property is still an address on Mass Ave until they sell? Is that how that works?
So you don't
They
technically
recorded-
get an address until you pull a building permit, I believe.
right.
And then the building department and the fire department says, okay, this is gonna be 22 Chestnut Street or whatever that number is, that's how that all comes down, but
And the
that's not
permits
until you
haven't been
pull it.
pulled yet, to our knowledge?
No, I'm sure they haven't.
No, 'cause we-
Cause they haven't got past this point.
And actually, you know what, to update my comment, it's 3 new tie-ins on Mass Ave, cause it was on septic. It's 3 new tie-ins
Right.
on Mass Ave.
One to an existing stub.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, but we don't know where it is yet.
We do.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, alright, sorry, you do, I'm sorry. looking at the
Cause this stub right here might service his house, I mean, if it's down in this area, that would be
Mhm.
one stub right there, they wouldn't have to go into Mass Ave.
So
So then they would just have to do it this way in that one, so.
retreat.
I mean,
It'd be interesting,
I
I mean,
guess
how do,
I'd like to,
sorry.
did you finish your thought, Director? Cause I
I
went.
think so.
Okay. Um.
Which is a very good point, by the way. That, you know,
Yeah.
if he can go to.
So
Miss Ave.
theoretically, they
Well,
can,
that's it.
the decision, if I understand correctly, is actually probably going to come down legally to, are we doing 3 or 1? Is that what we're looking at here?
Well, it's not
The
that
bottom
we-
line?
For the
They could do 3.
Yeah.
They can
Say
do
again?
what
For
they
the
want
easement
because
that
they're
we're
allowed to go to
proposing, yeah.
Mass Ave.
Right.
So it doesn't
But
matter.
now there's the new breaker,
Where
do
that-
we
but it
know
would
if
be-
there's anywhere in the town laws that say that? Sorry, town bylaws that you know, if you're building on a street, do you have to tie into that street?
I
Or do you,
guess
you know, or do you run through the woods 4 miles to tie into somewhere else? Like, what's to stop that? You know, so,
That's been done.
Yeah, if you own the property,
no, I'm just talking about.
No, I know,
Just cause it's more convenient or cheaper.
yeah, no, I understand.
What do we have to do to? I'm seeing a gray area in front of me, because these are going to be Chestnut addresses. There's no getting around that.
Mhm.
So, once they're Chestnut addresses, if they were addresses first, they could not be coming to Mass Ave anyway. They would have to run a stub. If they're separately owned, separately deeded properties, we wouldn't even be discussing this.
Even
Well,
if they
no,
have. front-
no,
they
you
have
could have-
access-
they could run it
there's
through there.
access all through here.
They have
here,
frontage
here.
and that's
I'm
where.
sorry, everyone's talking at once.
Sorry.
What were you saying?
I'm just saying that even though their address is here,
Right,
they still all have access to Mass Ave. That they
okay, so
can
no
run
matter
their-
what.
They
there's
could run their
still
line
access to Mass Ave.
independently.
Okay, so
And that's where.
that's what I wanted to
Started
clarify,
with
I was still
that, the first
foggy on.
draw up, I know we have nothing to do with it, but the first draw up of that plot
So-
on the top right is kind of insane just to get the square footage for a buildable lot. To snake it down and run it along the tree. I know that's all trees there on the right side, you know what I mean? So it's empty property. And they're just doing it to skirt the
All right,
square
so
footage.
I think we
requirement.
kind of need to step back and now we know what the decision is. You know, the 2 decisions that are at our disposal is, do we have them do separate access to Mass Ave or one where there's likely a stub? So do we wait to see where that stub is? Do we wait to see if it might turn into an 8-inch to make this decision, or do we say put up 2 options to talk further about?
Could you answer that question tonight? I mean, would it have to be 8-inch?
I can't answer that.
Okay.
Okay.
So the hearing tonight is for a waiver to
Mhm.
grant an easement,
Yeah.
so we could tie into one. So that's the only thing we can
Right.
vote on tonight.
I see.
Everything else beyond that is
All right, so if we
speculation.
say no to that, then they can come before us
Right.
with the 3.
Right, they might come back with
Hmm.
3, they might say, man, yeah, I'll go up Chestnut Street, do an extension. We don't know that.
Okay, now I understand your reasoning for want for answers to that, and we can continue it to get you those answers, show it on the
Mhm.
plan, and then modify whatever we need to accompany. Or
To
to
where
mean,
that
my-
might
to
be.
know that whether you have the right size, if you have to upgrade that size, because if the 6-inch will hold those 3 lots, then you're not actually going into Mass Ave, you're just tying into the stub. And then it would be ruling on whether you're acceptable for doing that. So if that happened, if the stub is sufficient.
Right.
You wouldn't have any tie-ins, I mean, you wouldn't be disrupting any street. It would just be tying into the stub.
With no easement, individual house tie-in,
Right.
6-inch going into the.
No,
No,
No, there would
no.
be easements.
It
He
would-
would still go with this
Oh.
plan.
With
But-
easement
And
concept.
tie into.
But that's what I'm saying,
Right.
I don't, to me, how could we possibly vote on it tonight if I know Bill says he has the tie-in here, but we don't have it directly marked on here, cause now how could we be expected to vote on an easement that may actually be changing?
Plus it doesn't meet, I don't know if it does, but doesn't meet unusual circumstances when they could just individually.
Well, that's a whole nother thing, but what I'm saying right now, we couldn't possibly vote on an easement where just think. What if the tie-ins down here? Now, this guy doesn't even have to, there's no easement, on is it property 2? I don't even know how just one, 2, lot 2.
2, 3.
Okay, so this is lot 1, so right now it's pretty intrusive on lot 1, right? So now, well, what if the tie-ins down here? Now you're just gonna simply run it you know,
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, you could run a straight shot and you're still gonna need a two variance, but I mean, I wouldn't be comfortable with
It
voting
seems,
without
so-
knowing the exact
Yeah.
place.
to me, gentlemen, it seems almost overkill to have them all go all the way to the street if it's all hitting, I mean, if it's all going to Mass Ave anyway. Now you've got, you know, three separate lines. This one will have to go over here, I assume.
Mhm.
Yeah, this one would be here, this one would either be down this or
This one.
on the right side, and that one could be a straight shot.
Again, we're setting precedents though.
No, I know.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying, I don't even think I need to beat a dead horse at this point. I
But the
don't think-
situation we're facing right now, gentlemen, I don't see this as a terrible idea. So.
There
Because,
is a precedent for 792,
Okay.
so you did set one granting that. If you're talking precedent.
I'm sorry,
See, you were saying this would set a precedent, but you set a precedent with 792. It's a similar.
I mean, in
no,
the
across
sense
the
of,
street, yeah.
I know circumstances are different, but the concept of the easement itself.
there was no other way for 792 to tie into anywhere.
So that's
They're
the
on
unusual
Mass Ave.
circumstance.
No,
And the,
and for at least my understanding when we voted on that was that it was the least amount of disruption and 3 tie-ins on Mass Ave and shutting down the traffic for the residents. It was just one shutdown and tie-in.
and that line did run parallel to Mass
Mm-hmm.
Ave across the properties.
Yep, and those houses are right up on the street, like these ones are proposed
So it was
to.
one tie-in and that was it.
The only difference here is really the configuration and where it's running, but. It is running through an area, I mean, they could never put a pool there, I assume,
I have no idea.
I mean. And they, either way, the line from this house is going through that area. I mean, it would have to.
Right, and once we determine
Right.
this location.
So it's not like we're
It could-
preventing
it could-
future use of the property. So this part of the property is always going to have a line in it, whether it's shared
So
or not. So,
by our bylaws, right? They would have to show that it's a financial hardship, right? To even get, is that the first one?
First one's emergency, second.
Emergency,
hardship,
sorry, second one.
Third one, best
Hardship.
interest of the town, which I think you made a good case that it's not in the best interest of the town.
Yeah, I'm saying, so there's a lot of conditions that have to be met to protect future development, you know what I mean, and to protect ourselves from making the wrong decisions at the same time. And like, I'm gonna ride this until the end and say, this is the opportunity to bring Chestnut Street online. I would not be in favor, if I have any say on running to Mass Ave on 3 different connections.
you would or wouldn't?
I would not.
I do.
I know we're not calling for a
I don't see
vote.
how we can deny that.
Yeah, well, no, I know, but I'm saying, so whatever, I'm just saying, I'm not in favor of it, whether I can do anything about it, it's another thing, but,
So to
but-
clarify, you'd prefer to see 3 connections?
I would prefer to see a spur run up Chestnut and they can tie in the address on Mass Ave to Mass Ave. And then if they really want to, but it's still gonna be, might be more economical for them to run the other way, but even then, that's still just literally defeating what I'm saying the other way. So I understand if they don't wanna build the spur out, I just think it's to detriment of the town, that's gonna set back any possible future bringing that whole section online that's been in our expansion map for 20 years.
You mean, you're referring to,
Yeah, Chestnut, yeah, sorry.
right, but that's not even in the option now, because they're gonna be going to Mass Ave either way.
If,
So why do they need the easement?
So we don't have to go multiple connections at the minute.
That's really, the easement is just to keep them from going into Mass Ave 3 times
Mhm.
or
And if
2
the
times.
existing stuff.
So the option is 3 times or 1 time, kind of like almost
Yeah.
exactly across the street,
Okay.
where And this line that's going to the street is going to be there either way, because it has to come, this house has to go there anyway. So the
So-
difference would be, this section would be turned into a longer section and dug into the street, Mass Ave again.
But
And
that's
this
where-
house would have its own line.
That's a Mass Ave residence.
Yeah.
My issue is that why would I say okay to a new tie-in to Mass Ave for two properties on Chestnut Street?
I understand. The reason is because, as it was just clarified, this property has the right, no matter what we say, to bring all of these units to Mass Ave at this time. That's
I mean,
where-
that's,
where the
I
bottom
thought we
line is.
kind of didn't get the answer, if you
Say
had
again?
to. If an addressed lot,
Right, but the addresses aren't on Chestnut yet.
But even if they are, they have access on
Right.
Mass Ave.
Oh, right,
Okay.
They have frontage on Mass Ave.
because it was the whole property was in.
Okay.
this-
Utilities do that all the time.
Yeah, I get-
They come in the back of your property.
Right.
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that debate.
okay, thanks for
Over.
the clarification of
So
it.
we're.
But property one in the corner there, that's a Mass Ave property, you said?
Mass Ave what?
Property one is a Mass Ave property?
Yeah.
So the line they'd be running would be through private property, right?
Right,
If other people tie in, that turns it into an easement now, that's not just private property.
well. It's only becoming an easement
Am I
because it's
correct
gonna
on
be
that?
three separate private
Yeah,
properties.
so
Yeah,
is that, you know,
It's still owned by the same person. They just given an easement for lot 2 and lot 3.
but when they sell later,
they're the owner of the land, the deeded land, but now they're sharing the land.
right,
But-
so
but split.
either way,
It's
all of
split.
these properties are going to have pipes in these areas. The difference is. The pipe from the existing structure is going to meeting with the pipe from this future structure. And then another short stretch goes to where this pipe has to go either way.
That's only on the easement.
So basically, you're reducing the size of the footprint to get sewer to Mass Ave. That's really all this is doing. It's reducing the footprint on the private property. The waiver, I mean, having, these easements is almost changing nothing for the future, even if we force them to go to main, Mass Ave directly. There's
Well, it
gonna be
keeps
pipes
it-
in all these areas anyway, other
Keep
than
it
this
on their own
20
property.
feet here.
It keeps it on their individual properties.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm saying.
Right, and they do run over each other's property right here.
That's what the easement's for, but
Right,
that's what
which
we
is
would,
what
you know.
Right.
I'm,
Waivers for,
you know what, if they wanna
So-
go the 3 connections to Mass Ave and we can't stop it, that's fine, but.
Yeah, so we're-
Right now, I'm not in favor of the easement.
we're essentially back to the same decision we had last week.
So do we wanna vote on it now, or do you guys wanna wait for more information?
Well.
Cause I think we could be said the
let's
same
Go around the room.
points, I know, I know.
Arthur, what's your thought on that?
Just to
Hold on,
clarify,
sorry.
Whoops.
just to clarify, so. If we continue it, we can get you the info for whether that 6-inch can handle these,
Mhm.
and if that's the case. We propose the same scenario. I'll be a different route,
Mhm.
but we wouldn't be going into Mass Ave, we would just be going, tying into the stuff, the existing stuff,
Mhm.
Right,
Right.
okay?
well, that's,
I'd like to
If
continue, I'd like to continue it until we have that info.
I just,
I just think it makes sense.
and I
Now we know.
understand where you're coming from,
Mhm.
but I just, if you have all the correct information and we can alleviate even tying into Mass Ave and just tying into that stub.
without even digging into the road.
Right.
Right.
I think that would.
Well,
be-
at some point,
Is
Well, that would be the
that
best case
use,
scenario.
that'd be an easement use option?
Yes,
Still easement, so.
yeah, still an easement like this.
And then we're not even tying into the street, they don't even have to have a,
We don't have to change the discharge, the volume to an 8-inch there or anything? or-
That's what we'll, at the
Oh,
end.
okay.
If we continue, then we'll come back with that information, the
Yeah.
location of the stuff.
and like Dan was
Route
shocked,
to it.
go ahead. Dan was shocked that last week that they jumped to an 8 because
Yeah.
it isn't
Yeah, I just,
probably necessary, I mean, 6 is a pretty big pipe.
Yeah.
You know, I work with 4-inch a lot, and a 4-inch pipe takes a lot, a 6-inch will take a huge amount of volume. And if everybody in all these houses flush their toilets at the same time, it would probably still accommodate that. It would, I mean,
Mhm.
So if you say yes to the easement, there's only possibly no tie-in. There's a tie-in, but there's no digging on Mass Ave.
right,
If we say no to it, they can just do it anyways by doing 3 separate private tie-ins at Mass Ave.
3 separate private tie-ins, and two of them for sure would have to be dug into the street.
Yeah,
Right,
and
And
because there's one tie-in there already, the other
and
two,
here,
yeah,
knowing there must be a stub somewhere,
yeah.
basically, we can count on not having to dig into Mass Ave at all.
and I'm still gonna say that, you know, even if that stub is there. I still think for the best interest of the town is not to grant the easement and to
Mass Ave.
Force the,
develop Chestnut Street.
I agree, but we can't ask them to do that.
Yes, we can. If they want that proposal on an easement,
All right. Is there?
I mean, we don't know what they're gonna come back cost
Yeah,
conducive
that's
to
what I'm
them to run these incredibly long runs now from Chestnut Street, right? We can't stop that, but now it may be more cost effective for them to run the spur off Chestnut than 3 different dig ups and runs all the way and tie-ins to Mass Ave and dealing with Mass Dot.
I think we're, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna ask the director again. Is there, no matter what happens here, no matter when these properties are sold. All these people on this property have a right to tie into Mass Ave, no matter what we say, right?
Correct.
Okay, so how do we get them to go down Chestnut Street?
So what Scott's saying is if they figure out what this costs, what
Oh, I
that
see.
costs, and what that costs to tie into Mass Ave
Oh, I see.
as compared to going up there.
Yeah.
Would they go that way rather than? So if we
I
said
guess
no
would be no,
easements, you
but-
have to go that,
And-
you have to tie in
That
here
was-
3 times.
And you're
that was the
talking
next conclusion. I was coming.
three separate permit fees from Mass Dot, right?
Yep.
And so what's easier, working on a private street, in a town or, you know,
Create
trying
an
to-
easement.
Then I'm gonna ask Dan, if he's done more of this. Firsthand than any of us. And firsthand knowledge of the cost of digging in the streets and also. Like to hear the director's input on this. Even though you'd be digging you'd only be digging 2 holes. With the 3, correct, into the street.
Well, yeah, if there is
Tie-in
the
already
tie-in, yeah.
Somewhere. So you'd be digging into the
Right.
main, into Mass Ave twice over here. And then you're just digging through dirt
Mhm.
with a 6-inch pipe, pretty straight shots. As opposed to tying into the manhole over here,
Which is
running
in
a
the state
main
road as well.
several hundred
So,
feet.
yeah,
Yeah,
Several
but
hundred
that's-
feet.
Yeah,
So that's
With-
one time.
With
School bus stop there.
with cutout, with tie-ins along the way,
Mhm.
including their own.
Mhm.
Being in construction myself. I'm not even gonna guess which costs more. I can guarantee running a new main, which would be great. They'd be out of their mind. I mean, price wise.
Really? Cause they already seem, as they mentioned in the beginning, they already know that they might be running into ledge.
I'm sorry.
They already mentioned they might be running into ledge here. I think they know they're running into ledge here. And that's just thrown out there, that exponentially increases their cost.
But it's going up the street too.
Is it
Yeah,
going to be like that?
I understand, but I'm saying, I'm sure there's not that much ledge in 50 feet running from. The Chestnut Street. as well.
Okay, is there any known ledge right in this particular?
yeah, there's
And
all ledge, all cuppings over here,
on top of that hill,
yeah, right,
by the play field?
yeah,
I mean,
no, right on the backside of the parking lot.
Even
here,
this, even
Where they used
this,
to plow the snow right there.
even
was
that
all
house
ledge right there.
sits on top of a hill.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all ledge, yeah, for sure.
Okay. And what about down this end? Do we know if there's?
Well, it drops off down
Mhm.
here,
Right.
that's why it's,
It's actually below the road.
right.
Yeah.
But
Hmm,
can I just make a suggestion? Can we ask him to get us this information for the next meeting?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
Just because, and if you wanna tell your clients that too, that, you know,
Yeah.
we may wanna see it. cost differential type of thing. I mean, I can give this plan to someone tomorrow and get a ballpark price on that sewer run up there. You know, that's not a huge deal. I'm not a huge street sewer guy, but, my gut feeling is this is probably cheaper. Believe it or not,
Mhm.
you know, I mean,
Private tie-ins.
the two tie-ins in the Mass Highway and the time frame and stuff, I mean, you know, for guys that do that all the time, it's a pain in the ass more than it's. Costs, it's, you know, a
Okay.
day's worth of work or, you know, a
Yeah.
day and a half, that type of stuff, so. This is still a wrong run, this is about 350 feet, cause,
Mhm.
well, actually, it's close to 500.
With a
feet.
main instead of.
With a main,
500, yeah.
that's right, exactly, so,
And tie-ins along the way.
Yeah.
And then repaving this entire stretch over the,
Possibly adding
Right.
sidewalk.
that's
They're gonna do that
town
now?
road, so you don't have to worry about the paving there.
so. Okay, well,
I'm fine with
I'm
that.
gonna
Coming
ask
back.
the other commissioners, Scott. Do you agree with his idea?
Yeah, I would, let,
Getting.
yeah, let them come back with the.
Yeah.
the
It's the ball in their
information.
court, right? It puts the ball in their court and they're gonna make a decision on
Right.
cost.
And
That might
I,
No, no, cause
It
we.
might help us, might help us the other way, we don't know yet.
Yeah,
Might
but
be.
they're gonna come back with a accurate plan
Yeah.
of where the tie-in is and then we can decide on the easement and then, you
and
know, if they have a contingent plan of the.
it should be
easement.
possible to find out exactly where the stub is between now and next meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, Andrew's gonna print it for me.
Okay, so that, why don't we do that?
Yep.
Bill
No,
has
I
it.
did, yeah, I printed it, yep, it's on the printer.
One with Steve.
There's another one, yeah.
All right, gentlemen,
All
so,
I'd make a motion that we ask them to get us additional information for the next meeting, so we can discuss it.
do we need to make a vote on that? Or the
What do we have
Yeah,
to, we might have
I
to
think so.
make a motion
Oh.
to extend
And
it,
then-
right?
motion to extend this
Yeah.
hearing?
Okay.
Thank you, I'm just making sure.
I'll
right, we have a
second,
motion.
I'll second the
And
motion.
it's been seconded, we'll go around the room, Dan,
I,
Scott,
Aye.
Arthur. Aye. And I for myself, that motion carries.
All right, now we need to, I'll make a motion to extend their permitting process, so we don't have the same deal, right, Andrew? That we wouldn't have to petition public
Yeah,
again
can
if we
extend- yeah,
can
that's fine,
extend
yeah,
this.
yeah.
No, do we need to vote on it?
Yes,
Extend
we
it
need
to-
to, yeah, we need to vote on
All right,
it,
so
yeah.
I make a motion to extend this plan into the next meeting.
Thank you.
I need a second.
I second it.
He seconded. So we're doing a
Now
second.
you
vote
call
on
for,
this?
yeah,
Yeah.
vote to extend.
That's been seconded. Arthur,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
and I for myself.
Fair enough.
All right,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you for all your time and effort. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Take care, Ryan.
Yeah, a couple weeks is in person too, right? Yeah.
I think this is best suited. for-
Oh, wait, no, are we a month out? Because of the
we
town
don't have
meeting?
one, cause it's town meeting and Veterans Day, so there's really, you know.
Yeah, we're a month out.
Yeah, so the next one is gonna be November 25th,
Okay,
so we can make that
It's
in person as well.
Thanksgiving week.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I
'cause
remember
if we
that
don't
was
do
the
that,
town meeting.
then it wouldn't be
Then
until
Veterans Day,
December.
everything's closed, yeah.
So that'll be a
Um,
hybrid, yeah.
25th.
Yeah.
That's enough.
gentlemen, moving right along, I need to be somewhere before 8 o'clock. I didn't expect the meeting to actually go 2 hours. Is everyone on board with moving with our current business into our current
Well,
business?
we have a
Well,
second.
we have a second presentation.
Yeah, Jeez, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I thought you were
He
right.
lost again.
He was, yeah, he was nice enough to, reschedule
Yeah.
for us, we apologize.
I'll talk quickly
Yeah,
for you.
so, do you want me to leave the room?
Actually, I
Yeah,
don't
so
think
this
you need
is-
to leave the room, you just can't vote on
Right.
it. So-
Yeah, you don't have to leave.
So this is where Dan has to abstain, in this one,
Okay.
Very good.
and that's why we didn't have a quorum.
Okay, so,
Give you hand signals.
what time do we have? 7:31?
Yes,
7:32.
7:32.
So we were going to open this second hearing at 7:32 PM. Regarding an easement request for 830/832 Mass Ave. A waiver request. And Ryan Proctor from Dillis and Roy is going to give us our presentation at this time.
Right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ryan Proctor, Dillison Roy. I'm here representing the owner of 830 Mass Ave, which is this house indicated in brown. As was just read into the record, we are here seeking a waiver to allow a sewer connection through an easement. The easement I've shown here in green is the green triangle. So 830 Mass Ave is this house here, and then 832, just for reference, is a backland lot. So the access strip is this black strip here. These bold lines that run to the back of the property. So I'll just give a very brief history on this site. So back in, I believe, 2021 or 2022, 830 Mass Ave was subdivided and 832 Mass Ave was created out of that parcel. When Dillis and Roy had done that A&R plan, it was not caught at that time by us or the town during the A&R process. But the sewer stub that was formerly installed for the 830 Mass Ave parcel actually ended up being on the 832 Mass Ave piece when that lot was created. That was not caught until recently, when we went to provide the sewer connection for 830 Mass Ave. So instead of providing a new tie-in for the 830 Mass Ave house, which would require going through the driveway, opening up a new curb cut within Mass Ave, tying a new stub, we're proposing to install a manhole within that easement at the end of the existing stub where that is currently located, providing the connection alongside the property line to the 830 Mass Ave house. And then at the same time, we would have a stub also installed that could provide a future connection if required or necessary in the future to service the 832 Mass Ave parcel. So we'd be utilizing the existing sewer stub. All the work would be done on the backside of the sidewalk. And would be providing a connection to those two residential properties that are both located within.
So we wouldn't even have to break into
into
the sidewalk for this.
Yeah, no, we, on the backside of the sidewalk, we wouldn't have to open Mass Ave. Yeah, we'd be outside of the right of way entirely with this work.
How much of that pipeline would be in the easement? Is it the green area?
Just the green area.
And how many feet is that about?
So this scale ruler, thank you. Had one last week and I forgot it. So it's about 13 feet after the manhole.
So it'd be a small dig, would it be a big dig?
No, relatively small. The grade does drop down off the road here. But we would just run right up the property line, gravity the whole way to a second manhole in the back here. That we'd connect into the sewer on the 830 Mass Ave piece. The existing septic system's in the back, here.
Bill, can you bring up
So
830 on? Yeah, like satellite or whatever. I'm just trying to see where exactly it is, only because I know we spoke about this 2 weeks ago because it involves one of my neighbors, so.
Yeah.
But apparently I don't have to abstain, so that's good. I just wanna see where exactly it is. I know his property because he abuts my property.
Yeah. Let me get this. Right, so this one is 830,
Correct.
and that's 832, right?
832 is southerly of the yellow highlighted right now.
Is that
That's
the highlighted
830. That one's 832
Okay.
right there. It's labeled as 0.
Okay.
So that's
Oh,
Tam,
so there's even right there.
That's right, yeah, that little triangle, we just grabbed that triangle essentially of the access.
Right,
Okay.
So they're big properties, they go way
Right, they
back.
go way back there.
yeah,
And the Unitil is back there, right? Is that,
No,
No.
Riley Road,
oh, right.
That's right, yeah.
yeah, so it's these two.
Okay.
And what we're looking at that, there are 3 waiver requirements that we need to address when we submit these. I can go through those quickly. If there's any questions on that, I'm happy to speak to them. But the first requirement when you grant a waiver is relative to emergency circumstances. As I mentioned, the house is on septic system currently in the back. My grandfather actually installed the system in 65, so the system's 61 years old. When the A&R plan to create the second lot, the 832 piece was done back in 2022, the Board of Health actually required the previous owner to connect to sewer. That was not done at that time, so ultimately it has become the burden of the current owners who are trying to sell now to do so. So that's why we've come up with a way that is less intrusive and found a way to do that. So that is our first criteria. Forgive me.
So quick question.
Sure.
is this the house that's for sale?
And I'm sure you already mentioned this.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, understood.
It is,
with
right?
my hearing that little triangle
Okay, so I
where
know
we
it's
would have to do the waiver.
Yep.
That's going to belong to the lot that's being sold.
No, so the easement is on 832 for the benefit of 830.
No, I understand that.
Okay,
But in its own right, with the stub on it, it's going to benefit 32 as well.
it's going to benefit both, yes.
832.
Yeah, in this case, we are not providing a sewer connection to a lot that's outside of your sewer district, meaning 832 is located within your sewer service district. So it would otherwise be able to connect, same thing for 830 Mass Ave. We're just trying to consolidate services here, based on a weird circumstance that ended up coming to light when we did the A&R plan a couple years ago.
And if this wasn't approved, what would the situation end up being?
Yeah, so the frontage for 830 Mass Ave is from here. This is the other front corner here, so they could provide a connection. Their existing driveway, and they do have quite a bit of a paved apron here. So they'd have to cut into Mass Ave with a DOT permit, cross probably under their driveway, or some snaked configuration around this side, and then run it all the way around to the back to connect there. Given the existing sewer configuration of the basement, I don't think it's feasible to do a plumbing change to have it come out the front.
Right, that's what I was thinking when you were doing that.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Let's go around the room. We'll start with Arthur. Do you have any questions for him?
I don't have any questions, no.
Okay. And Scott Dahl?
Bill, can you just expand I know it's only cut off there, I know where the triangle, just, pan out, sorry. Yeah, I wanna see how far, just, okay, it's. Okay, so can you click on that again? So that is Tanner's property.
Yeah.
And
So-
click on one for a minute, I think that's.
Yeah, so it's actually both pieces are Tanner's.
Yeah,
that
right.
big
Yeah,
one
he
is as
owns
well.
that big
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah, cause my house is on the front right there, the first one on the right, yeah. But that's the actual driveway easement is between the two ones.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that even part of isn't, and Tanner's on board with this?
Oh, yes, yeah.
I mean,
He signed the application that we submitted.
yeah, and it's never gonna affect, his trucks come in and out, next to my house, so I don't see him even building over there, so if he's signing off on it, I'm fine with it. I know that house has been for sale for a little while, surprising that it
Well,
didn't
this-
sell,
this is
and
a-
this is what's holding
This
it
is,
up.
this is the contingency, I think.
Yeah,
And you've already answered my questions. This makes sense to me. It's, it allows for future expansion where it would need to be potentially. It makes sense to me. Why don't we, bring it to, why don't I ask
Just
for a
one more thing.
motion?
That's gonna be another manhole we're gonna put there, another,
yeah, it's a manhole.
okay,
On
That doesn't
on
exist now.
private property.
that doesn't exist now though, right?
No,
Okay, that's gonna be
No.
added. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
and this is gonna, but it's also servicing the address behind it, right? Is that what you? Eight
We're-
thirty and
we're-
832 is.
Yeah, we're preparing for that with that extra stub. That way we didn't have to open up the road or do anything crazy down the road.
That's one of the things I liked about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a pretty good bonus on it. And then, like I said, Tanner's okay with it on the, very edge of his property.
And it's affecting only two properties, not three. The easement.
Very good. Did anyone have more questions before I ask for a motion?
I'll make a motion to vote on the easement request.
To allow the waiver?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion to accept this waiver for an easement. At 830/832 Mass Ave. It's been the motion and seconded, and I'm gonna go around the room, Scott Dahl
Aye.
and Arthur. And I for myself. The motion passes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, very clear.
Welcome back to the meeting.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
I think you have to say we officially closed this hearing.
Okay.
You,
I think you have to.
Oh, yeah.
Close.
This concludes this hearing for 832 Mass Ave. Thank you, Mr. Director. And thank you for your time, Ryan.
Thank you.
Very good. The hearing is officially closed. And
Brett,
we
you said
shall
you
move
had-
on to current business.
Yeah, I'll make a motion
Okay.
to approve the minutes of 10/14/25.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been made and seconded. Thanks, gentlemen. We'll go around the room. Dan,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Arthur.
Aye.
And I for myself. We have, the business manager updates, and DPW director updates, the ADUs. That we met with town council.
Yeah.
The other day. And I'm gonna have the director.
Yeah, so it was Andrew, Brett and Scott and I.
Yeah.
We met with town council. We talked about what we had written up, right, which we talked about in previous meetings and he was okay with it. He brought up like any lawyer should, potential things that could happen, but this so remote. I don't think we have to worry about it. I think the big discussion was around the waiver language, right?
Right.
So I copied the waiver language that we have in a bylaw, right, which
Mhm.
we were talking about tonight. And I changed the emergency,
Which you would include
Yeah, we
into.
should- yeah.
right, to, what did I call
Was
it?
it urgent?
Unusual.
That's what he's trying to-
Yeah,
Or
Without-
extraordinary,
yeah, unusual and extraordinary.
Extraordinary,
He
yeah.
was okay with that, so. The commission can vote to approve that new language as a regulation. But he did bring up the fact that the waiver language is gonna be different in two spots.
Right,
So in the existing spot is a bylaw, so that has to be approved at town meeting.
if we are to change it.
If we had to change it, which he recommended, we have the same language in both spots,
Right.
right? So
Mhm.
we could bring that up into the May town
Wait,
meeting.
do we have proposal for the change in the May?
And again, we have different language in two spots. It could be a potential
So we
problem,
want
but
to
in
bring
that
this
6
to
months, is it
town
gonna
meeting.
come up? Yeah, probably not. It's probably worth the risk.
In-
As long as one doesn't
In
like
May,
to cut the other.
or the
Well,
springtown
it's just
meeting.
Somebody could argue, you're doing this over here, why did you do
Right.
it over here?
Right.
So I'm saying like, as long as we don't, the wording can be different, but as long as they both meet the same threshold and don't go under it. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
So
one's a
one is,
regulation.
if they're both
one's a
unusual,
bylaw.
but then we say for easements, we wanna add the wording of exigent or something like that. It still meets the same as the other one, but now we're adding a little more, should we consider for easements? A different level of. Unusual circumstances, you know what I mean?
Right,
That
so
made
right,
you would-
well, right now it's emergency.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is exigent, which is
It
basically.
may, it was just
Unusual makes
recommended
it
to have the
less.
same
Right,
language.
just have the same verbiage.
And
Unusual makes it less.
unusual
Yeah,
was the better term to even for the bylaw. But we have to. Bylaw would have to be changed
Right.
at the next town meeting, it's too late to
I
get.
know it's easier, but
So 6
is
months
it
from now.
better? Can they both meet the same threshold and then one just goes beyond it if it needs to, you know?
Well,
well, he
mean,
recommended the same language in both.
Okay,
Mhm.
right.
It's really just. a
and
language.
agreed that unusual was
Yeah.
basically the better way
Okay.
to go.
But even Steve from Haley and Ward said, we set precedents 2 meetings ago. Or 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
with what approval we gave, so I mean, that's really where it always comes down to, you open up the can and.
Yeah.
But he has to make that lateral reference to it,
Yeah.
like saying that I'm similar to that property that you
Right,
approved
right,
it. And we already discussed that it wasn't.
Right, so regarding precedents, our bylaw says there shall be no entitlement to a waiver. In the grant of a waiver in one instance and, well, it's not written right. In the grant of a waiver in one instance shall not require the commission to grant a waiver in any other. So we're not setting precedents,
It's autonomous each one.
yeah,
Mhm.
each one is its
Oh,
own.
well then,
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
they
like
can
zoning,
argue-
zoning's the same way.
Yeah, they can
Zoning,
argue
everyone is-
precedents, but,
Right.
Yeah, cause he came pretty
So-
strong with that, and now you're saying those are autonomous, it doesn't,
right,
each one is its own entity, okay,
right.
good.
Good, yeah, good to know.
And. Andrew.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, that's, yeah, no, Bill just said everything that I was gonna say, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are we going from here specifically?
Yeah,
So-
so right now we only have ADU bylaw discussion, we don't have vote. So
Mhm.
maybe we could put that on the next agenda.
Next
if you
agenda.
wanna vote
Yeah, let's
it.
do that.
Vote for the, the way that we came up with the wording.
It's still a
um,
month, well, that's us technically voting in the
To incorporate it.
permitting fees, permitting
Yeah,
process
that's
for the,
all the new.
whatever, however,
Yeah.
it's the regulation.
Yeah, just to incorporate
It's a
into the
reg-
Let's say
regulation.
we're a month out on that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
all right, very good. So we'll address this
Mhm.
in our next
Yeah.
meeting. Is there anything regarding the manhole repair that needs to?
So the manhole frame and grates came in, they opened up the first one and we went out and they had the wrong size frames, they were too small.
for the grate.
Oh, and frame and cover, they had new frame and covers, but they were too small. They weren't the same size as what they were taking out, so got them home, they'll get new ones. So that's on delay again.
Well, that would be an update.
Yeah, it's an update, frustrating, right?
Okay,
Been a year we've been discussing
thank
this.
you, Director. And future agenda items, we've already started covering that. Um. Between you and the director, you'll. I think you've got that
Yeah.
area covered. And then is there any, public comment or comment from the commission or staff before we close? Okay, and then, our upcoming scheduled sewer commission activities, are is gonna be November, our next meeting is November 25th, 6 p.m. Zoom meeting.
Well, we're
And
gonna
then-
change that.
We're gonna change it to in person.
Because it's gonna be a
Right,
public hearing.
we're gonna
so-
change.
So that'll be
So it's
here.
gonna actually be not happening and then move to our December 9th meeting, is that correct?
No,
No.
we're keeping the November 25th. It's not gonna be,
It'll be in person.
Zoom, will be in person.
Oh, it'll be in person,
Yeah.
okay.
But it'll be at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Okay, hybrid.
In the
Yeah.
continuation.
Very,
In the
very-
continuation.
Plans,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Someday I'll get a cochlear implant, make this a little easier. All right, well, thank you, everybody. And then we'll have a December 9th meeting, and then we'll be again in person. Very good. So I'm gonna look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Arthur?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
And Dan?
Aye.
And I for myself. Thank you, Lunenburg. Have a great evening.